Simon Chelugui, welcome to the committee. You are the only transition from the outgoing government to the new government. You know, in human history, even when there's a calamity, there's always a survivor to tell the story. So you will tell the story, but not today. You're welcome to the committee. You are transitioning from one administration to another. But that notwithstanding, this committee has a constitutional, legal, and standing orders grounded responsibility to engage you and establish and confirm your suitability to occupy the office to which you have been nominated. We have 90 minutes engagement with you. We will give you, for a start, after preliminaries, 10 minutes to tell us your story, the story of your life, up to where you are sitting. We'll then go on with the proceedings. Members will pry into your official and even private matters, depending on what they want to check with you. We advise that all questions are asked through the chair, all answers are through the chair, and avoid any temptation to engage members directly, even if they ask you a question that doesn't fare well with you. We will, at the end of the proceedings, give you 3 minutes to close up your wish to the committee. We see that you are going to occupy a docket that is novel in our structures, that is the centerpiece of dealing with our economy, and members will be keen to hear from you the new ideas you are bringing to the table. We will also, as a committee, expect you to help us manage our time. There are some members we have spilled to almost double the time. Being a veteran, you should be able to help us in that regard. This committee is chaired by the Speaker of the National Assembly. You are strolling here. And we have members whom I'll invite to introduce themselves, starting with the Deputy Speaker.
My name is Gladys Boss, member for Uasin Gishu County, and also Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Karibu.
Kimani Shongo, MP Kikuyu.
My name is Opio Wandai, MP Ugunja.
My name is Owen Baya, MP Kilifi North.
I'm Robert Mbui, MP Kadhiani.
I'm Ferdinand Wanyonyi, MP Kwanza, Trans Nzoia County.
Thank you, Chair. George Gitonga Murugara, MP Tharaka in the Tharaka Nithi County. I think I need to make the declaration now. Absolutely, because I know this gentleman. 2 ways. When he was a young man, with Christopher Mulele, the MP for, he used to be MP for Luanda. When I was doing my A-levels, Forms 5 and 6, they must have been around Form 1. That's the way I know him. He was a nice boy in Kabarak High School. Number 2, he can also confirm that I go to church, because we go to the same church at the NPC Valley Road. So Rahim used to say I don't go to church. Now yes, somebody who can confirm I go to church. To that extent I know him, but that will in no way hinder my impartiality in what we are doing today. Thank you.
Unfortunately, your faith is not an issue here.
Thank you, Chair. Kosing David, my name. MP Pokot South, West Pokot County.
Good morning. My name is Abdul Rahim Daoud, MP for North Imenti in Meru County, and I believe George Murugara goes to church now.
Honorable Mishimboko, MP Likoni constituency, a member of this committee. Good morning, and I'm Caleb Amisi, MP Saboti.
Good morning. I'm Abdishuri, MP Banabala.
Masemeri, MP Teso South.
Stephen Mule, MP Matungulu.
Naisula Lesuda, MP Samburu West.
Excellent. Simon, we'll ask you. Sorry, we have also our team led by our clerk to the National Assembly. You can introduce your team.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Sarah Kyoko, Acting Clerk of the National Assembly. I have with me the Director, Audit, Appropriations and other select committees, Ms. Florence Abonyo, and the Deputy Director, Legal Services, Mr. Michael Karuru, and other staff of the National Assembly assisting this committee. Thank you, Chairman.
We also have the media, which you can see, and you seem to have come with quite a team of young people in the gallery. It's the first time we're having so many. I believe they're part of your entourage. Simon, do you have your KRA tax compliance certificate?
Yes, I do, Chair.
If you have forwarded to us, the original will be shown to the clerks after this. Then they'll let you go back with them at the end of the day. Do you have your Higher Education Loans Board clearance?
Yes, Chair.
Do you have your clearance from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission?
Yes, Chair.
Do you have your certificate of good conduct from DCI?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been charged and convicted of an offense in a court of law?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes. Are you a dual citizen of the Republic of Kenya and any other sovereign?
I'm only a Kenyan citizen, Chair.
Do you have your original identity card?
Yes, I do, Chair.
You will show it to the clerks. At your personal level, what is your financial net worth?
Chair, my net worth is 993 million shillings.
993, segregated as?
I have a dairy plant. I have houses, the residence that I live now, and rental houses in Nairobi, and also I'm a farmer. I keep cows, dairy, and beef.
We'll now open the conversation, and you have your 10 minutes or less to tell us your story. We have already been let into the picture by Murugara. Now let's hear from you.
Thank you, Chair, honorable members. I was born 51 years ago in a place called Oldebes sublocation, Oldebes location, Kisanana division, Mokotio sub-county, Baringo County. Chair, I began my life like any other boy in Baringo, helping my parents, herding goats and cows, assisting my parents. Before I started my primary school education in 1979, I went to our local primary school, Oldebes Primary School, up to 1983, when enrollment was very low, and our education officer came to our school and asked us to move to the neighboring school because we didn't have enough teachers, we didn't have classrooms, and I went to Pombo Primary School, where I did my primary school exams in 1986. I passed very well, being the best student in then Baringo County. I proceeded to Moi High School, Kabarak, where as the honorable members declared, he was our house captain, town house captain. Although I was in the neighboring house, we were friends. I did my Form 4 exam in 1990 and passed very well, and proceeded to University of Nairobi for a Bachelor's of Commerce degree, specializing in management science. And I finished my university undergraduate degree and graduated in 1996. Chair, thereafter, I hustled since there were no jobs at that time. The World Bank and the IMF had prescribed structural adjustment programs, which as there were no employment, factories were closing, and what we could only do is to try what we could around the city of Nairobi. Chair, I came into partnership with Edward Kiptanui, and we bought a factory dealing in coffee machinery along Bamburi Road, and ran that factory for 2 years and sold it because then coffee sector was collapsing, and we were involved in coffee machinery rehabilitation projects, and we went across the country. An experience that I think that time I didn't know that I will one time serve in this docket. I went across the country servicing and managing and maintaining coffee factories as a business. We did Chwele Farmers Cooperative Society, then Chair Peter Kisuya. We did Matungulu, Kayata, Eveti in Machakos County, and even Kikima in Makueni. We went to Muranga. We did several factories in Meru. And all this, I think, is going to give me a lot of background knowledge and understanding about the coffee sector, which is largely controlled by the cooperative movement. Chair, after that, I had also other appointments. I was appointed in 2009 by the then Minister for Planning and National Development, the former governor of Kakamega, as a director of National Government CDF Board. I chaired the Projects and Technical Committee, and later on acted as the chair when the then chair, Lawrence Majali, became the Secretary General of KNUT. Chair, I resigned in 2001 to contest for a position of governor in Baringo. I did not make it.
2001?
2012. Sorry. 2012, yes. Sorry. 2008, I took up that position and resigned in 2012 to contest for a position of governor in Baringo County. I did not make it, and I came back to my old business. Thereafter, I was again appointed as a director of Betting Control and Licensing Board, where we were dealing with the runaway betting and lotteries that were then mushrooming in the country. And we were able to come up with policies and programs that were able to control. At that time, almost virtually every part of this country were engaged in lotteries and betting, and it was becoming a serious security challenge in our country. I was appointed by the late General Ngaizeri as a member of the board of BCLB. Chair, again, towards 2017, I resigned and went back to run for office for the position of Senator Baringo County. Chair, again, I did not make it, and I was appointed as a cabinet secretary, the Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Water and Sanitation. Chair, in this ministry, I worked, and at that time we had two challenges. First, we had a lot of, we had heavy floods in 2018 that destroyed so many water structures in Makueni, in the coastal area, including Barijo works were washed away. We had dams breaking down in Solai Dam that broke down. We also had cases of floods in West Pokot and even Tiati. Chair, as I joined the ministry, I benefited from prior relationship with officers who we went to school with, and they were serving in position of authority, and we were able to mobilize the entire ministry to respond to that crisis. There were also threats of breaking of Dakaini Dam. And so we were able to restore back the structures. I remember in Baricho, in Kilifi, we were able to restore back, because that's the only source of water for Mombasa, Kilifi, and Malindi. Thereafter, we experienced a drought in this country, serious drought. And it became a pendulum, swinging from floods to drought. And so we had to come up with programs. Chair, together with the leadership of the country and this house, we were able to mobilize resources and came up with Kenya Small Towns, a project that spread across the country. And we were able to choose sites equitably. And we have projects in Meru, we have in Embu, we had in Kerugoya, Kutus, Kikuyu, Katundu. We have programs in Malaba, in Seme, in Nyanza, and across the country. And this helped to improve water coverage from 57% nationally to about 64% by the time I left in 2020. Chair, I was moved from the Ministry of Water to the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection. In this docket, Honorable Chair, we had both the departments of social protection and labor. In the labor sector, Chair, we have NSSF, and then we have migrant workers issues, and also the industrial harmony of the peace in the country. Chair, we were able to institute governance in NSSF. When I joined the ministry, NSSF asset was about 190 billion. We brought in fund managers, we brought in custodial service managers, administrators, and improved governance of management of NSSF. We moved profitability of the fund from 190 billion to June this year, 289. We were growing at the rate of 36 and 43 billion respectively. Chair, if those governance structures are maintained, NSSF will be 1 trillion fund in the next 5 years. Chair, on the issue of industrial peace, when I joined the ministry, there were a lot of industrial strikes between pilots, doctors, and teachers, and many workers in the farm, in the productive sector. Chair, we were able to use our alternative dispute resolution to be able to handle and amicably arbitrate on issues of industrial peace. And we were able to have our pilots, our doctors, our teachers in school, and doctors in hospital, and also pilots flying our planes. Chair, at that time we were visited by COVID when we had a challenge. Our skies were closed, and there were mitigation measures that were instituted by government to protect.
Wind up.
Yes.
Last the 10 minutes.
So we were able to solve again. We signed MOUs with labor teams. Finally, Chair, on social protection, I was able to oversee the preparation and pushing for the children's bill, and that has been enacted and signed. It went through this house after being in abeyance for over 15 years. So, Chair, I have served as a minister for both ministries, and I'm privileged and grateful to His Excellency the President for giving me this second chance to serve again in his administration. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Simon. We'll now open up to the members of the committee to engage you, starting with the Deputy Speaker.